may begin.
In ancient Rome, plastic surgery started as a means to remove scars. People in Rome were afraid of scars on their back, as it was considered shameful and depicted that a man had turned his back during the war. They would let their scars be removed through ancient plastic surgery techniques. Things have come a long way with plastic surgery. It's not just removing scars, it's much more. Plastic surgery is a medical practice used to improve different features of the body which get damaged due to accidents and birth defects. Being a plastic surgeon has a lot of responsibilities. You have to organize a consultation with the client and discuss the complications of the surgery and possible outcomes. Plastic surgeons perform either cosmetic or reconstructive surgery. Reconstructive plastic surgeons work with abnormal conditions caused by birth defects or disabling accidents, such as cleft palates and traumatizing scars. Plastic surgeons work more than 40 hours a week, and they can also be called in on short notice for emergencies. During surgical procedures, they work with teams of other medical professionals, including surgical assistants and nurses. Plastic surgeons make people feel better about themselves and help them function in their daily lives. My first career choice was being a plastic surgeon because they help people who have been scarred and injured. My second choice was obstetrician. Obstetricians care for women during their pregnancy and just after the baby is born. They also deliver babies. I didn't choose this career because I thought a plastic surgeon would be more variety in the job. My third choice was a physician's assistant. They are trained to examine patients and diagnose injuries, illnesses, and give treatment under the supervision of another doctor. I didn't want to be under the supervision of another doctor. Opportunity cost is wanting your first choice, but having to give up something in order to get it. My opportunity cost was obstetrician. I chose to be a plastic surgeon over being an obstetrician because I like having to be on call and having to work reasonable hours. And if I were to be an obstetrician, I would have to work 41 to 61 hours, and I would get home late and wouldn't have time for myself. Positive incentives are good things about your job. 3 positives about my job are I would like to help people that have gotten into car accidents or other injuries, making them feel good about how they look, and the hours are predictable most of the time. Negative incentives are bad things about your job. 3 negative things about my job are being a plastic surgeon isn't easy. It's stressful because of the delicate work you have to do to a person's body and face. You have to pay for expensive malpractice insurance, and there are lots of years of schooling to be a plastic surgeon. My spreadsheet shows that my yearly salary is $190,000, and my monthly salary is $15,833.33. When filling out my spreadsheet, I estimated $1,000 for my car payment, and my parents estimated $200. Because I want a Lamborghini, my car payment is $3,983. On state income tax, I thought it was $250. My parents said only $20. It turned out to be $693.08. My pie graph easily shows that taxes are the biggest part of my budget at 36%. Then comes transportation. Because of my Lamborghini, it takes up 27%. Discretionary funds, which includes charity, savings, clothing, along with other things, total up at 16%. At 9%, housing comes next. Since I'm splitting rent with a roommate, because I needed 10 years of schooling, my school loans take up 5% of my budget. Toiletries, food, and utilities each came in at 2%. And medical insurance is the smallest part of my budget at 1%. When I was making my budget, I realized that I couldn't have everything that I wanted to have. Therefore, I had to make some trade-offs. I decided to give up buying more clothes to donate more money to charity. And I also gave up having a larger apartment to make it economic for my roommate. The reason I chose a roommate was so I wouldn't have to live alone and to cut rental costs. My resume shows that I graduated from the University of Kansas School of Medicine with a Doctor of Medicine degree. In addition, my clinical experience in residency at Children's Mercy Hospital has prepared me for my job skills. And the job skills that have helped me to prepare to be a plastic surgeon are attention to detail and determination. My determination helped me stick with the career and not to give up, even though 10 years was a lot of schooling. My ability to stay focused on detail is important because of plastic surgery. It involves working with tiny details of a person's body and face. I listed Winfred Dunn and Lauren Roth, both with Kansas Medical Center, as my references. My letter of application was written to Mr. Justin Roth. He is the Human Resources Manager at the Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California. I applied to be a plastic surgeon on their surgical team. One of the websites I looked at was the Bureau of Labor Statistics. On this site, I found out plastic surgeons have to complete 4 years of undergraduate school and 4 years of medical school. Some things I read about was after medical school, a residency usually takes place in a hospital and varies, and it usually lasts 3 to 8 years. The Index of Learning Styles questionnaire is a survey that I took, and it showed that I like to hear and do things and work with my hands. I like seeing the things I do before actually working on the job. I also took the Holland Code quiz, and some of the job options that came up for me were dental hygienist, x-ray technician, and nurse or midwife. I did a work values assessment, and the values that are important are salary, family, and children. After taking the career shift and career one-stop surveys, they indicated that I would be good at arts and design, music, and science. Plastic surgery has made many advancements since it began in ancient Rome. People who have been severely disfigured from birth or from accidents can now be happy thanks to a plastic surgeon. People who are just unhappy about how they look can get help from a plastic surgeon, so they can also be happy. Being a plastic surgeon is a fulfilling career because I make people feel good in their own skin. Plastic surgery is not about the money. It's about making the baby born with a birth defect into a whole and healthy baby.